Inui and New Way. Probably in the next video, I'm gonna do a quick live. Because sometimes it takes forever for these videos to load when I do it the regular way. Based off the area I live in. But I just want to talk about James Hartley. And please don't come on here making excuses to talk about James Harden was dinged up. And that's why he didn't play good. Well, what about all the other times where James Harden just didn't show up in the playoffs? And this is just him. At the end of the day, James Harden is a league MVP. He's a multi-time scoring champion. So I'm not trying to hear these excuses. It's just that you can't count on him. He played 53 minutes. Kevin Durant was fatigued. Kevin Durant missed the air ball. I know people want to say, well, what about that air ball? Well, maybe if James Harden would have scored more than 22 points, I told you, it's no reason why James Harden couldn't have scored 30 points alongside Kevin Durant. But he hid behind Kevin Durant. He hid, that's basically who he is. He a front runner. He a front runner, and he always been a front runner. He can't never make shots when it's time to make shots, but all through the regular season, this man can do his little cook dances and all this, all this stuff that he cooking people. But then when it come time to show up, show out, and play big, James Harden disappears. How many years have we been seeing this with James Harden? Collapse in the playoff, disappear in the playoff. Once again, I said this was his moment. Game 7, everything on the line. And what does he do? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Chris Middleton is Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton ain't no superstar. You know, Chris Middleton ain't no former league MVP. You know, he ain't a scoring champion, but he did enough and contribute alongside with the rest of the Milwaukee Bucks to get over the hump. Had James Harden scored maybe 28 points, they might have won this game. But like I said with James Harden, you can't count on him to show up when it's time for him to show up. This is his history. At the end of the day, this season is a disappointment for the Brooklyn Nets. I appreciate that. Um, this is a disappointment. It's a disappointment for the Brooklyn Nets. This season is a failure. This season is a failure. Like I said, Kevin Durant did everything he could to keep them in that game. You know, if James Harden would have made shots when it was time to make shots, they wouldn't have lost that lead. Oh yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, this season was a failure. They went and got all them people. You know, it looked like they had a super team, but once again, I'm gonna do a video. Basically, well, technically, there's no such thing as a super team, to be honest with you, because anybody could be beat if a team get hot. The Lakers, like I said, had what you call a so-called super team, and they got destroyed by the Detroit Pistons, 4 games to 1. You know, they had a lot of firepower. Oh, well, Steve Nash was never a good offense. I mean, Steve Nash was never a good defensive player. Nobody ever recognized Steve Nash for his defense. And then keep in mind, Mike D'Antoni was the assistant coach, so I should have known that something was gonna go wrong. It was in the cards for something to go wrong when the head coach was known for not being a defensive savvy player, and the other assistant head coach is known for not playing defense. So yeah, the writing was on the wall. The writing was on the wall. But like I said, I'm not upset because, like I said, I have no horse in the race whatsoever. But at the end of the day, you look at this team that was supposed to be there at the end, and they're not going to be there. And I want to say something that's spot on that Too Raw for TV said. You know, I want to. Another thing is I also blame this on the league because once again, for them only focusing on these major market areas as far as when it comes to talent. If they spread the talent out and keep and let a more broader audience see these up and coming players, like I said, the Devin Bookers, the you know um LaMelo Balls of the world, you know, the Zion, and then you hearing things about Zion that Zion is not going to re-sign with with the Pelicans, that he's going to leave as soon as he gets a chance, and see that's the problem. And that's what the league needs to fix. Like I keep saying, they need to you know give incentives on these, and allow a bigger salary cap for smaller market teams so they can be able to hold on to their star players. And see, unfortunately, this is the pros and cons of free agency, you know. And then you have the sports writers complain about, well, they don't want to go here, they don't want to go there. Well, it looked like ESPN is either going to be going to, for the finals, they look like they either going to be going to Philly, Atlanta, or Milwaukee. And by the way, Philly is a great city. It's Philly isn't, Philly is dope. I like Philly. So that's another thing. That's a problem because the media plays a role in this too, saying, no, 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 he's gonna leave. He should leave. He should leave. He should leave Charlotte. Charlotte isn't a big enough media market for him. Says who? You can make any place a big media market if you advertise and promote the stars better. You need to have these commercials that feature Zion and Donovan Mitchell and those kind of guys. Like I said, once again, this falls on the league for them failing to promote and advertise players that don't play in LA, Miami, or New York or Chicago. It's their fault. Well, I don't think Steve Nash is gonna be fired. Not after one season. They're going Brooklyn is gonna retool, and then who knows? They're gonna say, "Oh well, if we had Kyrie, we would have won." Probably they might would have won, but we'll never know. Kyrie didn't play; they didn't win. At the end of the day, you got to give all the credit to the Milwaukee Bucks because the Milwaukee Bucks had to win 2 games in a row to get there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to hear no excuses about Brooklyn. You had 2 league MVPs, a 2-time finals MVP, you know. And so I'm just saying. I think what they need, I think what they need in Brooklyn, they need a couple of defensive stoppers, and then they need some people, some spot up shooters, like a couple of 3-point specialists. Because at the end of the day, once again, you got to give all the credit to Milwaukee because Milwaukee had to win 2 straight games, as well as the Clippers being down 2-0 in back to back series, and they came back to win. Yeah, that is well. First of all, I've been to Philly several times. Philly is a cool city. It's a real culturally rich city, especially when it comes to I feel like it's a when it comes to blackness, I feel Philly is the spot. I think a lot of reasons why people uh don't consider Philly a tourist city, which by the way, Philly is a tourist city, is because Philly got a lot of black Muslims, and that's I think one of the reasons why people kind of don't, but it's a lot of stuff to do in Philly. Philly got a good nightlife. Like I said, you can, I ran up the Rocky Stairs, even though they keep moving that damn statue. But so it's a lot to do in Philly. Then you got the Philly cheesesteak. You can go to I go to Max's. I don't know where Geno's is. Max's is over there in Germantown. So Max is that's where I'll be getting my chicken Philly cheesesteak at. So Philly, it's a lot to do in Philly. Philly got, like I said, a good nightlife, everything. So I don't know, but like I said, I think that's one of the reasons why people don't be speaking highly on Philly as far as like, you know, like I don't know who wouldn't want to go to Philly. so, so, so I mean, Philly is cool for real. I've been there several times. So Philly is dope. It's spread out like it's spread out, but Philly is dope. But that's the problem. Like I said, you get the writers. Oh, I don't want to go to Philly. I don't want to go to Milwaukee. I don't want to go. I don't want to go here. We want to go to South Beach. Like Stephen A. Smith was crying about going to South Beach and all that. I want to go to South Beach. And do what? I'm just saying. They part of the problem. I think the Clippers. I'm kind of leaning towards the Clippers in this series. I really am. Well, this is Steve Nash first go around. And it actually came out of nowhere when he got that gig to begin with. You could have made an argument he didn't deserve that job. Listen, dude, I'm not trying to look. I'm not trying to hear nothing about James Harden's injury. If you can play, if you out there on the floor, you can play. There's been people that played hurt all the time. Kobe Bryant played hurt. Allen Iverson played hurt his whole career, bro. So you could save the James Harden excuses. We're not accepting no excuses about James Harden, bro. You could take that somewhere else, and I'm keeping it 100. James Harden got a history of doing this. Now, like I said, I don't want to hear about his hamstring, his knuckles. I don't want to hear about he had a bad slice of pizza. James Harden just didn't show up. So don't come here with your James Harden excuses. What about all the other series he didn't show up? Now, James Harden forced his way out of Houston. James Harden was acting a damn fool towards his black coach. You know what I'm saying? So to a certain degree, I don't feel sorry for James Harden because he got it. He's done this before. So you could save your excuse about his injury. I'm just keeping it 100. He played 53 minutes. He got cleared to play. He got cleared to play. So he got cleared to play. He just didn't perform. And this is the same James Harden every year. This happened with him in OKC. This continuously happened with him in Houston. Like I said, came to camp with a pot belly, So, man, I ain't trying to hear that stuff. James Harden ain't nothing but a regular season front runner. That's basically what he is. He a regular season front runner, but you already know in the playoffs, James Harden is going when it's the big moment, James Harden is going to disappear. This is every damn year. Nah, this what I'm talking about too, Raw. Like some of these James Harden fans trying to make excuses for him. He's done this every year. He's done this every year. We not putting the blame all on James Harden, but James Harden was counted. James Harden had the opportunity to step up and assist Kevin Durant and getting this done. Kevin Durant, it was damn near Kevin Durant versus five people. If James Harden would have just made more of an effort, and James Harden didn't look like there were times where he was like, "Hey, give me the rock." I watched that game. Nobody ain't saying that it's entirely James Harden's fault, but it's part of his. He's the reason why they did. He's one of the reasons why they didn't win because he don't show up. Once again, this is what I was talking about in the other video about Tyson Fury. We're not criticizing Tyson Fury just for the hell of it. He has a history of doing shady stuff. James Harden has history on his side. He has bad history on his side. They couldn't close out the Golden State Warriors. Like I said, they couldn't. They couldn't. They couldn't. I mean, I'm just saying. Kevin Durant, like, damn, this the second time, man. I didn't got eliminated playing alongside this guy. If Kyrie would have been healthy, they probably, if Kyrie had been able to go, he probably would have played good enough for them to win this series. But I knew, okay, well, let's see what James Harden gonna do. Let's see what James Harden gonna do. Once again, everything on the line, and James Harden, he hides behind Kevin Durant. Like I say, we're all at, you know what I'm saying? We're all at dancing at when when he's scoring 50-point versus, subpar teams. I see a lot of Sammy Sosa sometimes in James Harden. Like I said, Sammy Sosa, like I said, Sammy Sosa was the king of the meaningless home run. Almost never hit a home run or got a hit when it counted. And that's how James Harden is. That man can score points. He can score points in the regular season, but when it come time to show up, when everything is on the line, then all of a sudden he can't find his game, can't find a shot, want to pass the ball, hesitant to demand the ball. And this has happened every this I mean, this is just his history, and people got to accept it. James Harden is who he is. Oh yeah, man. Too wrong. When I used to watch baseball, when I used to follow it tough, Sammy Sosa was one of the biggest frauds. I mean, he was one of the biggest frauds ever. That's why he ain't in the Hall of Fame. Besides other things, and becoming a white man. So I mean, I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm just keeping it a buck. We've seen, like I said, we've been seeing this act with Harden for years. And if he goes elsewhere, he gonna do the same thing. And some of y'all, Ashley was saying this dude was better than Stephen Curry. Like I said, you had two league MVPs on that team. You had Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant won the scoring title a few times. James Harden won the scoring title a few times. Once again, a two-time Finals MVP, a league MVP. Kevin Durant and James Harden in their career have combined for over 40,000 points. Both of these men have scored over 20,000 points in their career, but only one seemed to show up. Like I said, I'm giving you the numbers. I'm giving you James Harden's numbers. You can't dispute this. Kevin Durant and James Harden combined in the regular season have scored over 40,000 points. So when you have them type of regular season numbers, we want to see that in the playoffs as well. I bet you if I bet you, hey, I bet you if Stephen Curry was on that team, they would have. I bet you if Stephen Curry was on that Nets team, I bet you they would have won. I bet anybody money. I bet you if Steph Curry was on that team, that Brooklyn team tonight, I bet you they would have won. He would have hit big shots. Anybody want to tell me I'm lying? I dare anybody to tell me if Stephen Curry wasn't on that Brooklyn team, they would have lost that game. I bet you they would have won that game. And the funny thing is, Kevin Durant would have still been able to score 40 points, and Stephen Curry would have had 40 points. Stephen Curry then played in 5 final series, and out of the 5 finals he played in, he won 3, and he averaged over 20 points, if I'm not mistaken, in all of those series, and he made big shots, especially in that series where they swept Cleveland. See, here's the thing with Harden. To be honest with you, send Harden's ass to the Lakers. Send him back. Send him. He from L.A. anyway. He from Compton anyway. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think. I don't think that's gonna happen. I never understood too raw the Stephen Curry criticism myself. I don't know where it came from. I think once again this was. I told you too raw like about 2 years ago that I believe that the media was trying to create a rift between Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. And I really think behind the scenes, I believe that they also, I believe that they begged Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant, or should I say, I believe they begged Kevin Durant to go play somewhere else. Because as long as that Golden State Warriors team was together, uh, they was gonna make it difficult for anybody in the Western Conference to go to the finals. Now, like I said, the Warriors sustained a lot of injuries. Klay Thompson went down, Kevin Durant went down, and that Raptors team just was too good at that time. And it was just too much for Stephen Curry to try to beat that team by himself. And that's just fact. I don't even pay attention too raw to Skip Bayless when he say, "Well, Stephen Curry has never won a Finals MVP." Well, he should have won the one where they swept the Cavs. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like I said, Stephen Curry got 3 rings. James Harden don't got none. And say what you want to say, we can go back and forth. We can make a video that Kevin Durant had to go play with Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry already had a ring when KD got there. So say what you want to say. People keep forgetting that Stephen Curry already had a ring. And if it wasn't for politics and some stupid stuff that happened with the Cleveland Cavaliers, he probably would have. I mean, for real, he probably would have had 2. Anyway, so like I said, the league fixed it to where actually it backfired on them when they interfered with that finals by suspending Draymond Green, and the Warriors ended up losing that series. They lost. I got over it. But guess what? It gave Kevin Durant an excuse to go there. Y'all kept complaining about KD going there, but I keep saying they lost that finals. You mad about him going to go play with the Warriors, but then they was coming off losing the finals. So they they basically gave KD a way in, and then keep in mind they had lost Harrison Barnes to free agency. So I'm just I remember that. Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Nobody criticizes Dr. J for not winning the finals MVP. And rightfully so, the right guy got it, which was Moses Malone. But for some reason, people say Stephen Curry ain't no good because he ain't got a final. Keep in mind, Larry Bird only got one Finals MVP. That's something else that people don't bring up. Larry Bird only got one Finals MVP. I'm gonna tell you, yeah. See. Hopefully, Big Mike, you bring this up in a solo video, man, because Larry Bird only got one Finals MVP. But nobody criticizes him and like they do Stephen Curry. I hope Big Mike do a video about that. Larry Bird only got one Finals MVP. Who Big Mike? Who was the other two? I can't remember who, but Larry Bird only won the Finals MVP once. I can't remember who the other two was, but he only won it once. I think Magic Johnson got two Finals MVP. I know James Worthy got one. Uh, Kareem, I think, got one. Magic Johnson got. I gotta look. See, this is stuff that I gotta look up and see. Okay, yeah, Cedric Maxwell, and who was the other one? Yeah, yeah. I was finna say Cedric Maxwell, but it was somebody else. Okay, he got two. Okay, I thought he only got one because I know somebody else. Okay, my bad. Yeah, see, you got to look this stuff up. I don't remember people talking about Larry Bird like he balled out in those finals. Because, like I said, they were tough series with the Lakers. But that's all I'm saying. Just because you don't win a Finals MVP, don't make you like Like I said, you got to get there. That's what I'm saying. You got to get. That's what I'm saying. You got to get there. James Harden ain't got to the finals. He ain't even. He ain't got a lick of the finals. But I knew this. I knew this was. I knew this was gonna happen. I was prepared. I said I was prepared. I started looking at this. I had a bad feeling about this game. I said this is game 7. That's why I talked about James Harden saying that he got to show up. I said, okay, Brooklyn might lose this game. I said that James Harden needed at least 30 points, and I better get 30 points out of him. And he was 8 points shy of 30 points. Appreciate the donation, man. I'm sitting up here just checking out this game, trying to watch the games and the fights, and I'm just like, okay, I had a bad feeling. I said, okay, this is game 7. Everything is on the line. Will James Harden show up? And to my surprise, or not to my surprise, James Harden had a subpar, mediocre game. I was like, they probably gonna lose. I was thinking to myself, I say Brooklyn probably gonna lose this game. I say they probably gonna lose this. They gonna probably lose this game because I know James Harden is gonna disappear. And everybody, and Stephon Marbury is cooking. He been cooking James Harden. Like I said, this is the same old story with this guy. He might as well go play for the. He should go play for the Lakers. He from Compton. Let him go play. Let him go play with the Lakers and cause them. He might be And here go the funny thing is, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people didn't see me criticize Russell Westbrook and say, well, damn, you can't win with Russell West playing alongside Russell Westbrook. Well, you might not be able to win playing with James Harden. You might not be able to win playing with James Harden. Well, people saying that they might get rid of him too. Like I said, I've been hard on Russell Westbrook over the years about how he's erratic and at times, but I'm fair. And just like Too Raw, he had a video saying we got to show the same energy. Well, I'm showing it. I accept the challenge. I'm showing the same energy. You can't win. You obviously can't win with James Harden. Obviously, you cannot win with James Harden. One thing about me, y'all, I keep the same energy. I keep the same energy. Cause I don't want nobody saying, "Hey man, oh man, that's not fair, man." Cause Taylor ain't criticizing J. So you know what I'm saying? Cause I've been real hard on Russell Westbrook. So like I said, I have to keep. It's my duty. Like I said, to keep the same energy. I mean, D Nice, I mean, D Nice, you. That's a fair assessment. Like I said, James Harden came into camp with a pot belly, and then he was acting a damn fool towards that black coach. So, like I said, a lot of us don't feel sorry for the dude. I, you know, a lot of us is going. question Steve Nash, his lack of making adjustments. Look, I said this before. A lot of things showed me that Brooklyn wasn't gonna win this series. You had Steve Nash as the head coach, Mike D'Antoni as the assistant. I mean, for real. When you got a player that was never known for defense and a coach that was never known for defense, well, that's sort of like a recipe for disaster. But at the end of the day, Steve Nash, he getting blamed too. I'm gonna make a solo video about Steve Nash, how he don't know how to make adjustments. Cause to me, let's just keep it a buck, y'all. We know damn well Steve Nash didn't have no business getting that job. He shouldn't have got that job. He didn't deserve a job of that magnitude, but he got that job anyway. And like I said, this is why I get mad because Mark Jackson can't get a lick or a taste of getting another coaching job. Nah, too raw. I'm gonna let you cook because I already know you gonna do a video talking about it. I'm gonna be checking it out. I know you gonna go hard in the paint. I already know you gonna put some material out. I look forward to your material. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this. Trust me, I'm gonna be listening to your videos on the way to work. I you know what like I said, I get angry every time I think about what has happened with Mark Jackson. You would think Mark Jackson did what Andy Reid's son did. And we know what his son did. We know what Brett Reed did. You would think that Mark Jackson did something like that. I mean, for him to just be ostracized out of the league the way he's been, it's a travesty, it's disrespectful, it's just flat out wrong. And people need to be more vocal about it. And we need not us as the media. I've been vocal about it. Two Raw has been vocal about it. Ticket TV has been very vocal about Mark Jackson. He should get another job. He wants to get back to coaching. And like I said, it's almost like Joseph Latham and the guy that owns the Warriors made sure that he never gets hired again. I bet you Rick Carlisle gonna get another job, and rightfully so. I have no problem with Rick Carlisle getting another job. But why can't Mark Jackson get another job? And it's not like he had a losing record. He had a winning record as a coach. I keep telling people I do think he would have coached the Warriors to a championship. You have to understand people's coaching styles sometimes have to mesh with the way players play. He the one that put that winning spirit in the Golden State Warriors. Like I said before, I wish some of the Golden State Warrior players would be a little more vocal about Mark Jackson not getting a job. Steph Curry has hinted that he should get another chance, but I think all of us need to be more vocal. And to me, Mark Jackson, I've said this before. I believe Mark Jackson should file a lawsuit against the NBA. You know, if Colin Kaepernick can do it and win, then Mark Jackson should be able to do it. Collusion. I'm just telling the truth. But anyway, you guys, thanks for tapping in. I'm out.